All right, hello everybody. Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here. Wanted to take some time and talk about what's going on in the Central Texas forecast for this week. Starting the week, it's just going to be hot. We'll be in the mid to upper 90s for today, Monday, and still for Tuesday. Wednesday, we've been talking for about a week now about this very weak early season cold front, or at least weak for us. For parts of North Texas and the Texas Panhandle, this will cool things down for us. This is not going to be a big deal at all. As we go into the upcoming weekend, though, that will be our next window where maybe we'll try this again to see if we can get another early season cold front to at least approach us here in Central Texas. So with that, let's get into the graphics. Here are the high temperatures for today, Monday, across Texas. You can see over parts of the Texas Panhandle, a little bit of that cooler air starts to work in. For us here in Central Texas, though, highs will be in the mid to upper 90s today. The National Model Blend has Austin at like 98. For today, I think 99 even looks a little bit more likely. That is what we hit yesterday. So then we'll just get right to the extended forecast from the National Model Blend. Again, this is a blend of a bunch of different models, so this is not exactly what the temperatures will look like, but it does give you an idea. So we'll be in the upper 90s today, still upper 90s Tuesday. Even on Wednesday, yesterday I had like 94 in the forecast for Austin on Wednesday. Now the model blend is at 96. So really I think this front is going to have just a very, very meager impact on our temperatures. Then Thursday, Friday, upper 90s. And then as we go to the upcoming weekend, this is where our forecast gets a little murkier, but you can see the model blend drops the temperatures again as we go into Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Seeing signs that maybe another early season front could move through. And again, guys, it's August, and then we'll head into early September. It's not going to be like in the 40s or anything crazy, but maybe a front that could drop temperatures a little bit. Okay, so I want to go over to the models now, and we'll go through some of like the hour-by-hour data. So here's the HRRR model, the high-res rapid refresh. The time is here, so this is at 9 a.m. And we'll go through the day today. Again, you can see not just here in Central Texas, but across much of the state, things are heating up. Now, Oklahoma into the far northern Texas Panhandle, again, things are starting to get a little bit cooler. But let's keep going. You can see the imprint. This is it, where this front is trying to come down south. So this would be tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning. Then we keep going into the afternoon on Tuesday. And this is where you get into just one of those tricky forecasts for North Texas. Again, for us, there's no doubt we'll be in the mid to upper 90s. And there will also be a small chance for some rain around. We'll talk about that. Temperatures are in the 70s, 80s, maybe even some 60s over the Texas Panhandle. Parts of North Texas get in on some of this cooler air, but even there, it's going to be a little bit of like a battleground, right? And then this model will take us down through, this is going to get us just to 1 a.m. on Wednesday. And again, the front's basically just going to fizzle just to our north. So again, our Wednesday forecast is not looking all that cool. I'll show you one other model. This is the NAM. This model does very well with these type of cold front setups, so we'll backtrack a little bit. And you can see it actually does have the front a little farther south on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, this will take us just through the first part of the afternoon, but this would be 1 o'clock, and you can see it's already got us warming into the low 90s. So my confidence is very high now that this early season front, at least this first one in the middle of this week, is not going to be a big deal for us. Now, let's go back to the HRRR model. Let's talk about the rain chances as well. So as we go through the day today, it's going to be completely dry. You can see it is more of a rainy pattern for Oklahoma, rainy and cool up there. And then as this front comes down southward, it eventually is going to spark some slightly higher rain chances for us. So here we are into Tuesday. So this would be Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. As we go into the afternoon and evening on Tuesday, yeah, I mean, you could see a few of these hit or miss showers and downpours bubble up, but you know, yesterday I had a 20% in our forecast, and even that 20% might be optimistic. So the bottom line with this early season front that's coming in to parts of the state is that for us here in Central Texas, it's not really going to drop temperatures. Ahead of it Tuesday will be upper 90s as the front kind of fizzles relatively nearby. We'll be just in the mid 90s on Wednesday, and then both Tuesday and Wednesday will have about a 20% chance for rain and storms. Okay, so that's the deal with the first front. Now let's get into more of the extended forecast. Here is the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. So now we're looking August 30th through the 3rd of September, and it is still favoring, for what it's worth, a good chunk of our state with above average precipitation. Here is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, and it does kind of the same thing that we were talking about last week at this time, where for the East Coast and even into parts of North Central Texas, it has below average temperatures. And then here in our lovely battleground area here in Central Texas this time of the year, this outlook is still favoring us with what would be actually slightly above normal temperatures. But as I mentioned, I think that forecast for the upcoming weekend is a little more murky. Here are the 7-day rainfall totals from the Weather Prediction Center. Along and then back north of this front where it's a more active weather pattern, you can see that they have several inches of rain in the forecast. For us though, I think our 7-day rainfall totals easily look like they will be less than a half inch. Okay, so let's start to talk about this upcoming weekend. Longhorns are on the road in Columbus. The weather looks great, but we have Texas A&M, Texas State. We've got high school football on Friday. We've got a lot of stuff going on. So here's the latest European model data, which again you can see keeps us in the mid to upper 90s through this work week. But this Euro model's been pretty consistent, bringing a front through what would basically be like Friday into early Saturday, in which case maybe highs could be in the 80s Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at the GFS model, which keeps us upper 90s, triple digits, and then this cool down is more meager, but again you can see where it has an idea to start dropping the numbers some as we go into this weekend. So what we can do is let's go back to some of the model data here, and I'll show you our European model. Let me get this pulled up before we switch over to those graphics. This is going to change, but just so we have an idea of what could be going on, and we'll fast forward here to Friday. Okay, so I'll switch over to our model again. So we're looking at the European. This is 7 a.m. Friday, this upcoming Friday, August the 29th. And it is bringing through a little frontal boundary during the day on Friday, so it's giving us a chance for some rain on Friday. And then if this were the case, Saturday, here is 7 o'clock Saturday, and as we go through the day, you can just see not a major rain chance, but some rain around. So this would say around kickoff for Texas State hosting Eastern Michigan and Texas A&M hosting UTSA. We'd be mainly dry, maybe a small shower chance, but then let's switch over and look at the temperatures. So we'll go back here so you can see Friday, where it is bringing through a little bit of a cool down there. So you saw we got some rain, and then we've got 80s, 90s north, triple digits south. And then as we go into Saturday, not a major cool down, but it's got our highs again in the 80s as I showed you on the meteogram. So that would be this would be more of like a typical early season front for us, where it definitely doesn't get cool, but it drops our temperatures to highs in the 80s. I don't know that I'm ready to go that far in the forecast, but just to give you an idea, the next time frame we're watching, this front middle of this week, is not going to be a big deal. As we go to the weekend, seeing some signs, maybe another front that has a slightly higher likelihood of moving through our area. Okay, let's go back here and let's talk about the tropics now. So that's our local forecast. Here's the tropical outlook. We have Fernand, which developed over the weekend. That's going to stay off the East Coast, so not a factor for land. And then this area, this has been just the very odd little tropical system, odd in the sense that the odds of development, they go up, go down, then it looks healthy again, they go up, and then it goes down. So just 2 days ago, they had this as a medium chance of tropical development, and now they've dropped it to 0, back down to low. So even if against the odds something developed here, the spaghetti plots take this kind of weak system meandering through the Caribbean and into Central America. I will say again, a couple of days ago there were models that got really bullish on that, and all of a sudden meteorologists like whoa, what's going on with 99L? But here we have the odds of a tropical depression forming over the next 10 days for the European model, and you can see it's got basically nothing in the Gulf. It is it's got a little bit of a chance here over the Southern Caribbean associated with 99L, and then it's obviously got Fernand. But, I think the bottom line is still, I don't really see, unless something changes with 99L, I still don't really have any concern for tropical development in the Gulf over the next week or so. So that's the bottom line. All right, before we go, I'll just get you back to this, and we'll finish up with some of the Austin area stuff. Again, it's just going to be hot for today, and it's going to be dry. Tuesday, small chance for rain at 20%. Highs are going to be in the mid to upper 90s still. Our little dip in temperature on Wednesday continues to look less and less impressive. I had 94 in the forecast yesterday. Now the model blend is saying 96 might be as good as you can get. Then we'll rebound Thursday and Friday, and then this does not look like a major front, but maybe some sort of a cool down with another weak early season front as we go into this weekend. So potentially that could drop our highs back down to the low or mid 90s, maybe some upper 80s as we go to this weekend, and that could be accompanied by some rain chances as well. So that's what I have for you. We appreciate everybody joining us for this morning edition of the detailed forecast briefing, whatever you want to call it. I will keep these updates coming. Y'all have a good day, and I will talk to y'all later.